What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my main event breakdown and prediction for UFC 292. We got Aljamain Sterling going against Sean O'Malley.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we're back breaking down the main event for this weekend's card, UFC 292. We got a bantamweight title fight, Aljamain Sterling going against Sean O'Malley, a fight that I think is, quite frankly, quite awesome. I mean, I'm looking forward to this fight a ton. You know, stylistically, this fight is a very fun matchup. A striker versus grappler matchup where Sterling on paper is going to have a significant grappling advantage, and then Sean O'Malley on paper is going to have a significant striking advantage. We're going to see who's able to get their way in this matchup. Really looking forward to breaking it down. Before we get into it, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I did already post my full card breakdown and prediction video for UFC 292, but I wanted to come on here and dive a lot deeper into this main event because, like I said, I think it's a very fun matchup, and it's a fun one to talk about and break down as well. So I say we get into it. We're going to start on the Aljamain Sterling side. We got Aljamain Sterling, who is 34 years old, 5'7" with a 71-inch reach, 23-3, and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Sean O'Malley, 28 years old, 5'11", with a 72-inch reach, 16-1, and 4-0, and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. If we take a look at the odds here, Aljamain Sterling opened up minus 220, currently minus 265, and then Sean O'Malley opened up plus 185. He is currently plus 225. So, like I said, we have pretty much a striker versus grappler matchup here, where Sterling, in a lot of his fights, he does go out there and strike with some of these guys. Like against Cejudo, we went out there, landed 135 significant strikes. Against Petr Yan, struck with him a lot in the first fight especially. But this is a fight where I just don't really think Sterling is going to want anything to do with the striking because quite frankly, why would he? Sean O'Malley is a very good striker. He's really big for the division, 5'11" with a 72-inch reach, and he's going to be the better striker. He has very sneaky power, and it looks like Sean O'Malley is like barely landing on some of these guys, and he's just putting them out cold. I mean, Sean O'Malley's power is no joke. His speed is no joke, and I think is going to give Aljamain Sterling a lot of problems when this fight is on the feet and at range. And so for that reason, I see Aljamain Sterling trying to get this fight down to the mat very early and very often. And even in the second Petr Yan fight, Sterling didn't really try to get the fight down to the mat in that first round. That fight did, for the most part, take place at range for the full 5 minutes in the first round. And I'm not sure that happens here. I think, if you're Aljamain Sterling, he's probably going to want to go for takedowns in the first round and get this fight down to the mat as soon as possible because, staying at range against Sean O'Malley for any period of time is you're just going to be in danger. So I'm very curious to see the game plan of Aljamain Sterling. But yeah, I think he's obviously going to wrestle and get the fight down to the mat. Aljamain Sterling, some things that I do want to point out for him is he's been talking a while about moving up a weight class to featherweight. He's been talking about this for a while now, and he's been talking about it more and more. And I think this might be his last fight at bantamweight potentially. I think I heard him say something along those lines, like this might be the last time he does fight at bantamweight, which is something interesting to note because Aljamain Sterling, although he's 4 inches shorter than Sean O'Malley, Aljamain Sterling has a lot of muscle. We saw it on Twitter. This guy has a lot of muscle. I mean, the weight cut's probably got to be tough on this guy for sure. So yeah, I think the weight cut probably does take a little something out of Aljamain Sterling, and we kind of see that in some of his fights. Some of his fights, he doesn't look good as the fight goes on. In the first Petr Yan fight, he was looking very tired. He was slowing down. I thought he was on his way to get finished in that Petr Yan fight in the first one. And then he got, kneed in the head illegally, and he won that fight, right? The second Petr Yan fight, the first round was close. He dominates the second. He dominates the third. And then the fourth round hits, and he just doesn't have a ton left. It's looking like he's out there fighting, not to lose, fighting to survive, especially in that fifth. He looked very bad in the fifth. So I'm wondering if cardio might be a potential issue. This weight cut might be a potential issue for Aljamain Sterling. And I think that, if he does not finish Sean O'Malley in the first, second, or third round, and he does start to slow down like he did in a couple of those Yan fights, Sean O'Malley is not really somebody you want to slow down against. I mean, Sean O'Malley looked like an absolute killer in the Petr Yan fight. Very close fight, don't get me wrong, but Sean O'Malley landed this big knee on Petr Yan that probably knocks out half the division. I mean, Petr Yan just next level tough and ate it, but he was cut open pretty bad. I mean, it was a nasty knee, and Sean O'Malley won that fight, due to the damage in the third round. The first round could have went either way. Obviously, Jan won the second round, but yeah, very, very close fight against Petr Yan. So we saw Petr Yan go to the takedown route against Sean O'Malley. He did have some success doing so, and he wasn't able to really hold down Sean O'Malley, which that's not really Petr Yan's game. The problem I have here with Sean O'Malley is I have some serious concerns about what happens if this fight does hit the mat, which I kind of think it will. You got to imagine it will. I mean, Sterling's going to try to get this fight down to the mat, right? And if Sterling gets his fight down to the mat, Sean O'Malley needs to do everything in his power to stand up as soon as possible. And for the love of God, don't let Aljamain Sterling take your back. If Aljamain Sterling takes Sean O'Malley's back, I mean, I think the fight honestly could be over shortly after. So I don't think Sterling is the best wrestler, though. I really don't. I think his wrestling has improved immensely, but he's still really struggling to get a lot of these guys down to the mat. And I think he might struggle to get Sean O'Malley down to the mat here. But like I said, if he takes the back, I mean, I think the fight's done right then and there. Aljamain Sterling's grappling is very good, and it's better than it's ever has been at this point in time. So what I want Sean O'Malley to do is, stuff a lot of these takedowns, make Sterling work early on, and when it's at range, don't let him off the hook. Put the pressure on, land volume, land power, and when Aljamain Sterling does shoot it on takedowns, stuff the takedowns, and if you do get taken down, do everything to just pop right back up instantly, make him work. And if you make Aljamain Sterling work early on, I think he's going to fade down the stretch. But I'd be lying if I said Sterling does not have a path here, because he clearly does. His grappling's on another level. And if he takes the back of Sean O'Malley, that's probably a wrap. So honestly, it's a close fight for me to call. And I think I'm gonna take Sean O'Malley here. I'm going to take him to kind of weather an early storm. I'm going to take him to, if he gets taken down, stand right back up. Don't get his back taken. And once it is at range, I think we're going to see who the better striker is, and I think it's going to really show. And then, like I said, as the fight goes on, I think Sterling is going to slow down more and more. I think Sean O'Malley is going to put it on him, and I think he's going to finish him in the fourth round here. So I like Sean O'Malley. I did this prediction on my prediction video, my full card prediction video, and somebody was like, "You must be an O'Malley fan." And no, I mean, I don't pick guys because I'm fans of them. Like, I would pick against my own brother if I had to. I just really do think Sean O'Malley has a shot to win this fight. Could Sterling sub him early though? Absolutely. So it's not a confident pick, nothing like that. Maybe Sean O'Malley's even a better live bet target. If he loses the first round, maybe second round, Sean O'Malley's probably going to be a massive dog going to the third, fourth, and fifth. So I think from a live betting standpoint, Sean O'Malley's not a bad look in that aspect. Other spots that stick out, and I have really not checked a lot of these lines, but Sterling by sub would be something that, yeah. So Sterling by sub opened up at plus 400. I think that's how he wins, sub. And it's already down to plus 200. So, goodness, that big line movement there. And that really tells you everything you need to know. If he wins, I think it's early sub. And then Sean O'Malley, I think if he wins, it's a knockout in the third, fourth, or fifth round. I don't know if he subs Sterling unless Sterling's either really hurt or really tired. I would lean towards it being a knockout there. I guess my favorite spot would probably be the fight ends inside the distance. It's currently sitting around minus 145. I think this fight does finish one way or another, whether it's a Aljamain Sterling early submission or whether it's a Sean O'Malley late knockout. I think the fight definitely does cover both sides there. But yeah, if you like Sterling, I would take a hard look at the sub prop, because the sub prop's plus 200. He's minus 260 on the money line. Could Sterling win a decision where he controls the first 3 rounds and loses the next 2? Yeah, that's on the table for sure. It's just, I really do think if Sterling does have success and take this fight down to the mat and gets on top of O'Malley or takes his back, I mean, he probably does finish the fight in that position. So Sterling by sub, I think, is a solid look there. But I'm going to take O'Malley to win this fight. I'll take him to win it in the fourth round by knockout there. There you have it. That is the breakdown and prediction for Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys could, leave a like on your way out, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to check out the full card breakdown and prediction video as well. And yeah, looking forward to UFC 292. We have right now, I think it's like 9 fights, but they're going to be adding some Ultimate Fighter finale fights, and then they're also going to potentially get Mario Batista a new opponent after Cody Garbrandt had to pull out. So hopefully when it's all said and done, 12 fights, I'll be breaking all those fights down on Friday. So yeah, guys, best of luck. We'll talk to you soon, and see you later.